Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Bill Dawes. Are you taking a shit? What's going on here?
I know, it looks like I'm in a bathroom.
You're really in a bathroom?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, the most professional podcast of all time. Now you're on set?
I was on set, and I was waiting because I thought we had an earlier one, but then I was like, oh, shit. Then I felt like I can't be a loser, just hang out in my dressing room for the next 3 hours.
So, are you in New York or Boston?
I'm in New York, yeah.
Nice. Filming that movie with, or the TV show with Ethan Hawke, right? Or
No, it's Kevin Bacon, but kind of the same thing, right?
Yes.
It's called City on a Hill.
I'm happy because I thought they were going to kill your character off.
They did, but they brought me back because I guess they felt like something didn't track or my character, I don't know, something didn't work. So I thought I'd come back and get to do scenes with Kevin Bacon, but I just came back and same actor. I tried to pick up on his girlfriend in front of him. I guess they felt like they
came back to life.
No. This is like an earlier episode. So I didn't get paid for a new show. They actually tried not to pay me. They're like, well, it's the same show, so we should get paid. I'm like, no, I'm flying in for this shit.
Oh my God. Oh, they're trying to that's crazy. Well, whatever, man. You're acting. You're killing the game, man. I mean, it's like you're one of you're working with Kevin Bacon. I mean, how cool is that, dude? Kevin Bacon's one of my favorite actors ever. I told you a story. I heard every time he goes to a wedding or a bar mitzvah, he'll pay the DJ to not play Footloose because
that makes sense.
Because there's always that funny guy who's like, hey, play Footloose. And then everyone circles around him. I mean, can you imagine how annoying that would be? Go and like everyone wants to. I would I would do the same thing. I'd be like, no, listen, do not. So anyway, so what's going on? How was your life? What did you do for Super Bowl?
I was hanging at Jeremy Piven's, just kind of watching it with there's nothing. I wasn't cool enough to get invited to the game.
But you were at Jeremy's house watching it?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
It was all right.
Nice.
What'd you do?
I watched it at home. I was with my wife and my daughter. I tried to explain to her football. And
your wife or your daughter?
Both. My little 3-year-old, she's like, Daddy, why are they all wearing pacifiers? I'm like, no, those are mouth guards. But they kind of do look like pacifiers, right? And then it was hard to tell her the 10 yards because she doesn't know distance, I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, see the yellow thing? They're trying to get to the yellow line, but it keeps, going away because it's not really the line there. So it's hard to. I'm like, they're trying to get in the end zone, and then they were dancing. She likes when they would dance. The guys would dance. That was funny. Like, why are they all dancing? Kind of thing.
Did she get it by the end, or is she still confused?
She kind of gets it. She doesn't understand why. She gets they can't drop it. And she gets people trying to tackle them, but she doesn't really 100% get the quarterback. I mean, it's a hard fucking thing to explain.
It is. Did she ever go, oh, Dad, look, a double leg?
She knows how to do a double leg. She could do a heel toe knee really well as far as setting up the double, but she won't do it in public. Only when I'm
Did she recognize when a cornerback tackled someone and was like, oh?
Kind of. Dude, I actually went to the kids that I used to coach. They had their high school tournament, and they're just 7 kids won the regionals. And then 6 out of the 7 were kids that I used to coach. So I went to watch.
Oh, wow.
And that was awesome. But 2 kids joined the team this year. They didn't join because of someone that both we know, but that's a whole other thing. But they joined this year, and one kid's just a monster. I mean, he's pinned 19 out of 20 kids. I had him for 3 years. Basically, he just gets down and just tackles the fuck out of somebody. I mean, he's just that explosive, But the other kid was sort of going over for underhooks and getting thrown. I'm like, hey, man, you play football, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you're going to play college next year? Yeah, for Long Beach State. I'm like, how many tackles have you made in your life, you think, in practice? 1,000? 2,000, 10,000. Well, let me see 2. Fucking just go out there and tackle this fucking kid. And he's like, okay, yeah. Like, it's just, I mean, especially at heavyweight, that's sort of, you know, I mean, there was a kid one time, his first day, this little black kid. I'm like, okay, he came to the match. He had one practice. I'm like, dude, get in the 3-point stance and just tackle the kid and let him up. And dude, I felt so bad for the other kid who wrestled like the whole year from Harvard Westlake. He literally just like, his name is Taekwon. And he just like, and he like wrapped him. He didn't even like have his elbows in. He basically just like wrapped the kid. I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, and he won like, you know, 19-8 or something. And he's like, so I don't have to learn any moves? I'm like, no, this is not going to work on any kid that's actually good. But yeah, so that was crazy. The funny about the Super Bowl, I was watching a couple things. The funniest was, first of all, anytime anyone bets on the national anthem, you know, if the person's black, bet the over, because there's no way.
Oh, you mean time-wise?
Yeah, like you're an idiot if you know the person's gonna like. Come on, like they're gonna sing the fuck out of it. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, a couple years ago, remember Christina Aguilera was doing it. And she like messed up the words. I remember hearing the radio thing, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, those aren't the words. And the announcer was like, man, right now there's not a dry eye in the stadium. And someone's like, the other guy goes, yeah, I think they're crying because she forgot the words. Like said that on the air. Then you die. But my favorite in the football game is when I don't watch a lot of football. I only watch like, you know, the playoffs. But they'll go through the guys, and the one guy will be like, you know, Marcus Short from, you know, Iowa State. The other guy would be like, you know, Stephen Littleman from, you know, Northwest Nebraska. And then they'll be like, some guy would be like, Connor McCetera, like Paul Revere Middle School. like at that point, can he just skip it? Does he have to say Paul Revere?
Does that mean that he just never went to college? He got drafted.
Never finished high school. Like the dude never like. You don't have to. I
know that was possible.
Yeah, you could just try out when you're like in your 20s, or like if you're a good athlete, and you know, the dude said Paul Revere Middle School. I was fucking dying, and like I was like, oh my god, like that.
I looked all embarrassed. He's like Paul Revere Middle School, like.
Oh no, he was laughing. You could tell he was just like, whatever. I'm making millions of dollars playing fucking football. Like, fuck all you guys for fucking trying it.
I'm just like Kinko's. I was working at Kinko's before I got drafted.
I couldn't believe it. I was dying. Dude, there was a kid. I was like, it was cool seeing like the kids that I used to coach in middle school and now in high school. A lot of them now were like apologizing to me, like, hey man, sorry for being a dick all those years, you know. Dude, this one kid, Caden. Tall, blonde hair kid, like good looking kid. He like he would paint his nails, you know, just like he would just say like just a strange kid. So he was in the finals, and his dad, who's like a younger dad, is yelling at him, and he's yelling dad things like pin him, like, you know, while they're standing. Dude, the kid was like beating him. He was down like 10-5 or something, and he goes, "Shut up, Dad!" Like during the middle school match. And I was like, oh my God. And then he came back and won too, which made it even worse. But I couldn't believe he said, shut up, Dad, to his dad.
Did the dad shut up for the rest of the match?
Yeah, his dad did shut up. His dad was embarrassed about the whole thing. Like,
I love that.
The dad was giving some shitty advice, but you can't say shut up, Dad, to your it's just crazy. I mean,
it obviously motivated him.
Dude, so there was like 2 different mats going on at the same time. And they're like, hey, Adam, can you step in? And meanwhile, my wife's like mad that I'm like, I have a day off and I'm like going to watch kids. But I haven't seen these, you know. So I go there and she says, and one of the kids that was wrestling, I never seen before. I didn't have him as a kid. It was just a high school kid. So I'm like, I go to the kid next to me. I'm like, what is he good at? Like, I'm literally working this kid's corner. I've never seen him wrestle before. I have no idea what this kid's move is or what. So I'm just like, hand control. I'm saying the most generic shit of like low stance, you know, and the kid won and thanked me, but I had nothing to do with that. You know, it was just absolutely nothing.
Do you have any kids that you coach that are like really good now, like in college or anything?
I had one kid I had one kid go Division I. I coached him for 1 year in 8th grade, a kid named Peanut, and he ended up going to Purdue Wrestling. But then when COVID happened, they dropped a third of the scholarships. So now he's at San Francisco State. A lot of kids made it to state. I got one kid now who's a sophomore, who's this kid, James Van Wagenen, that the sky's the limit for this kid, you know? But wrestling's a weird sport, man. A lot of times, like, the kid that I think is like, this kid's going to win the whole thing. He doesn't do it. Like, he's got too many, he's got too many options, you know, like girls, pussy, or one kid, Harbor Westlake, which is like a really good school out here. Like if you don't know it, it's like it's $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year. Go there. They were like, hey, we can help get your kid into Harbor Westlake if you haven't played football. So I was like, hey, John, try for the football team. Now he's playing football in college, the kid. Just basically, but a lot of times, but this year I had they had a solid team. I mean, they just 6 to 7 kids won the regional.
That's crazy.
Awesome. Yeah. It was, I mean, it's still so stupid. There was one kid that was wrestling in the tournament. He had, I want to say it's cerebral palsy, and he wrestled the kid, and the kid was beating him, but like letting him do moves. Like he still wanted to win the other kid, but it was obvious like what was going on. And then everyone applauded that kid. And then the other kid got his hand raised. Well, you have to raise your own hand now because of COVID. And also sometimes and you can't shake hands at the end. You can have a complete wrestling match. You're sweating on the guy and every pore is on it, but you can't shake hands. But anyway, the kid who had cerebral palsy raised his own hand. I was like, fuck it, you know.
Did he mean to do that, or was that like a spasm? No,
he meant to do it. He like legit, like, I think he just felt like a champion. He wanted to get his hand raised. I felt sort of bad for the other kid because he had to win, but not like he was a nice enough kid to just not pin the kid in 12 seconds, which is probably what I would have done. I probably would have been like, treat him like no one else. So this kid was nice enough to, because I don't know, I would have been scared that the kid could have caught me or something.
I know what you meant, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then meanwhile, yesterday my wife, she was wearing like a short dress. We were going out for dinner, and I was like, I'm like, dude, if there's wind, everyone's gonna see your butt. Like, what do you? And she's like, whoa, it'll be your lucky day. I'm like, no, I get to see your butt every day. Like I go, that's my butt. And then my daughter goes, Daddy, you already have a butt. I'm like, I was like, yeah, that's true. I do have a butt. Yes, that's, she said.
And then you tell your daughter that you're just expressing ownership over a woman in your life. And that feminism is dead. No.
Yeah, I mean, right? That's right. That's what I should say. I was like, who's gonna be your Valentine in class, Violet? She goes, everybody. I'm like, oh no.
Your daughter is she is a very pretty girl. She's gonna be a very pretty adult.
I mean, you never know. Sometimes you see the cutest kids ever, and they don't grow in very well. And sometimes you see kids, you're like, and then they're like supermodels. So
I guess that's true.
Know. I mean, you never know. But as long as she's happy, that's really all I care about. But now she's getting to the point now where she's like, I'm the best. I was the best in class. Like, I was better. And she's like, everyone likes me because I'm pretty and I'm nice. And I'm like, oh no. Like, yes, that's true. But because everyone's telling her how pretty and nice she is and smart.
Yeah.
So it's like, what am I going to say? No, you're not that. So I'm like, Violet, everyone is good. And it's not a competition, and we're all good in our own way. I'm trying to.
Yeah, that never works on kids. It's like you don't realize it's not a competition until you're like 70, and they're like, oh shit, it wasn't a competition. What was I doing my entire life?
Anyway, did you watch the fights?
Yeah. Gosh, I was. Which fights? Oh, this Yeah.
The Whitaker versus
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Now, people are saying that Robert Whitaker won that fight. I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, Israel Adesanya. Now it was a boring fight. He did just enough to win, but he
had takedowns. I mean, Whitaker had like 3 or 4 takedowns.
Yeah, he got dropped like twice.
That's true.
For a second, he couldn't really get in. He didn't land any damage. He didn't hurt. I mean, he landed a kick or two, but I don't know. I didn't think that fight.
I mean, it was unanimous. Didn't one score like 49-46?
Yeah, I mean, Whitaker's going around saying I won the fight. And I'm like,
oh, he is?
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's clear robberies, and then there's even closer. I would almost say that Colby Covington was a draw against Usman versus than that. I just didn't see how that fight. It was close enough. He didn't get like wiped out, but I didn't see where he won the fight. Maybe he gave him a round or two. Maybe he gave him a round or two. Maybe he won like.
And they also, I mean, the kind of unspoken rule is that if you're the champion, it's the challenger has to take it from the champion. All things being considered, like if it's a draw, the champion is going to win.
100%. I think people are like nuts. I think people just wanted him to win. You know. I thought the Black Beast quit. Do you watch that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy.
That made me sad.
Maybe I'm crazy, but this dude, it does seem like with the Mark Hunt fight and the other fight, Cyril Gane, I feel like he's sort of a bully, where he'll either fuck you up or he just lately he even said he doesn't like fighting. He's just good at fighting. He doesn't like training. He's just, how else is he going to make this kind of money that quick? I mean, he's a charismatic guy. We like him. And when he wins, it's a lot of times he's getting dominated and he just catches the guy. Or even with Curtis Blades, where he catches him coming in with a knee or something. I mean, it did seem like he got hit with an elbow and he got hit again. But the way he face planted, he sort of caught himself a little bit. And I don't think –
So you don't think he was knocked out?
Man, I watched it like 10 times. It seemed like it was like a half dive. Like he really got hurt and he really got hit. And don't get me wrong, that guy fucking hits hard. But it did seem like he was like, get me the fuck out of here. And maybe I'm wrong. But it did seem like the way he landed, like even when Woodley landed, he landed, he didn't brace his fucking fall.
Yeah, boom, yeah.
Whereas, like, he sort of caught himself going in. And, yeah, his eyes did look a little bit like going back. But the other guy even said, I didn't hit him that hard. I didn't feel like I hit him that hard. I don't know, man. I mean, you hate to call someone a quitter because he did get hit and he did get elbowed. But something seemed a little strange about the whole thing. And I watched it like 10 times in slow motion. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I don't want to think.
Has anyone ever been busted for throwing a fight in the UFC?
No, but I've talked to pro fighters that said there are times where they want out and they let the guy sink the choke in. Like they're just like they're done. They're I don't think it's not necessarily that they didn't throw the fight. There's a couple fights though. There's a Mark Coleman fight in Pride that was crazy. I mean. It was weird. And there's a couple fight where I forgot who he fought, but it was some fight that you're just like, what? He got caught in like a leg lock. Mike Trizano, did you see that Mark Coleman fight back in Pride where that looked like it was a fix? I forgot who.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Shit.
Because Bill Dawes, the very funny comic, asked if there was ever a fight where we thought it was a fix. We're talking about the Black Beast fight last week. And I don't know if he threw the fight, but it did seem like when he fell, he kind of braced himself, and he did seem like he wanted out of there. Not that I mean, who wouldn't want out of there when you got a huge guy punching in the face? But did that seem a little off to you?
Yeah, I mean, when I watched the replay, it did kind of look like he just gave up. It didn't look like he got knocked out cold.
Yes.
It wasn't that type of fall. But I can't see Derek Lewis throwing a fight, especially in his hometown.
Yeah. I mean, I just think a lot of times he was just like, get me. I mean, I don't think he wants to fight. I think he's really good at fighting. I think he's great at fighting. But he even says, he's like, I hate this shit. He hates training.
Yeah.
He hates dieting. He hates going to the gym. He likes knocking people out because that's probably fun for him. He doesn't like really getting hit. He doesn't really do what it takes to be there. And it's kind of sad because you wonder if he actually gave it his best. But that's something you can't teach. And in some cases, I feel bad for a guy who's so good at something who doesn't necessarily want to do it.
You know what? I think he's at a point where he realizes he's not going to get a title shot. And he's kind of just content with making a few more paychecks.
Yeah.
And I think that's just where he's at. He's almost like guarding the throne in a sense. You want a title shot, you got to beat him at this point.
Makes sense. Now, how are you feeling? What's going on with you?
I feel great, man. I thought I broke my ribs in the first round of my fight. He hit me with a front kick, fucked me up. I obviously didn't show it, but that bothered me the whole fight. But I felt good. Honestly, I thought it was a pretty close fight, even though it was a unanimous decision. He just threw more than I threw. That's pretty much it. If I threw 2 shots, he threw 4. And that's why he won.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good fight. I thought that you had him rock a little bit in the second.
I hit him with a left hook.
Did you know you had him hurt?
Yeah, I did. I just gotta fucking let my hands go more. I back to the drawing board. That's it. This game is unforgiving.
And also, he was kicking you. I mean, how many could you walk the next day? He kicked you so many times, but you just walked through it.
My calf is fine. It was a little swollen, but it never was something that was causing me issue in the fight, and I was fine afterwards. Yeah, it was a little swollen, a little tight, but that's it. It wasn't like I needed crutches for the next 2 days, which I've had Muay Thai fights where I got kicked like that and I couldn't walk for a week. It wasn't like that. So, I mean, I was fine. The only thing he really hit me with that hurt me was he hit me with a front kick in the first round. Thought I broke my ribs. Thank God they're not, but they still fucking hurt. Like when I sneeze, it feels like someone's stabbing me.
Oh, God.
Were you having trouble getting your breath during the fight? Like getting a full breath?
Yeah. I did have a lot of adrenaline, so it wasn't as bad during the fight, but it did hurt. Like normally when I get hit, you kind of brush it off. And that one, I felt the whole time. It didn't go away.
Your jab looked great. The commentators were saying that they wish you would kind of do more of a 1-2. It seemed like a lot of times when you were getting it going, he just closed the distance and sort of hugged you against the cage.
Yeah. He did a good job of, like, anytime I was trying to set something up, he would just jam me up and hold me and get in the clinch. I think my biggest thing, I was talking to my coaches, is that the inactivity is just crippling. Like I've been trying to fight as much as possible, but just obviously, like a couple years ago, I was out for a while with injury, and then I was supposed to fight in October, and then Chaz Skelly got hurt, so that got scratched, and they've been booking fight cards left and right, so there was nothing available till February, so I had to take that. So I mean, I'm trying to get a quick turnaround, hoping like something in May or something like that. So we'll see.
Well, you're right there. I mean, listen, you won the Ultimate Fighter. You came out of nowhere. By the way, I watched that fight with the Ultimate Fighter. You had the whole crowd yelling Mike. How many Italian friends and family, they all went to Vegas?
I definitely had over 100 people that flew out to Vegas for that fight, between friends, family. Like I had my cousins and a bunch of their friends went to a pool party. I think it was, I forget what hotel it was, but their fucking bill was like $40,000.
Oh my God.
Like they were just going nuts all week.
Dude, it was crazy because the whole crowd was going, Mike. I'm like, is this in Jersey? Like, and I'm like, no, this is fucking Vegas. Like,
I had family that were like, they were on the betting lines and stuff, and they're like telling people like, yo, you got to throw money on him. He's the underdog. Do it. Like they had people just they were getting the crowd going.
Then
there was one point where he was trying to go for a leg lock. I was turned around. I was elbowing his ass, and the entire place is chanting, "Beat that ass, beat that ass." Usually I don't hear the crowd. It's like kind of drowned out. That I heard clear.
It was crazy because you lost the first round, and I was like, "Oh no!" And the guy was a jiu-jitsu specialist. Joe Giannotti, right?
Giannetti, yeah.
Giannetti. And at one point, he had your own leg like in your face, like it was. How
was he going for a knee bar?
So he had a heel hook, and I'm pretty sure I was in 50-50, and he started turning on it. I pushed into him. I was trying to like put weight on the foot. Couldn't get it. It popped, but I just kept going.
Shit.
Yeah. I tore I think it was LCL that I tore, but I was able to avoid surgery. I just did like rehab and stuff after the fight, and I was fine.
Because I was like, yeah, I could tell. I'm like, how is he not? Were you close to tapping or no?
No, and it didn't hurt. I was just pushing forward, and all of a sudden, like I heard it. It was up, and then I was like, all right, fuck it, it's already gone. So I was like, keep coming, but it didn't hurt, so it was weird. So
did it bruise up afterwards? Like really big? Do you get a really big bruise after?
No bruise, but it was swollen. It was swollen. I had a hard time walking.
And then in the second round, you guys were 69ing.
Yep.
Literally, he's Bill.
North-south, you were north-south top?
His ass is in the other guy's face. Like he's sitting on the guy's face.
Yeah, we were kind of stuck because if I started turning, he was going to hit a leg lock again. So at that point, and there was like under a minute left, I was like, fuck it. And I just started elbowing his ass and punching his ass and stuff.
He's
and the fucking crowd is going nuts.
He's hitting your ass.
Yeah.
They're punching each other's assholes.
When you have a leg lock guy, you got to put him in north-south. That's the only way to neutralize him for sure.
Yeah, and he's got long limbs, so he was very sneaky with submissions. So I was like, kind of just like, all right, fuck it, I'll finish on top.
That was crazy. And then even the announcers were like, when these guys thought they were going to be in the UFC, this is probably not what they envisioned.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that was crazy. And then the third round, I don't know what he was doing. He just was taking the round off. Like he just stopped.
He ran the whole time.
It was crazy. So then you won the Ultimate Fighter. Did you win $100,000 or what? It was a 5-fight deal or what happens in the Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, it was a 6-fight deal. And then based on you keep winning, your purse goes up. If you lose, purse stays the same. Works like that. So
now,
I think
you get a deal like that,
more.
They can still just fire you at any time, though, right? You can get a 6-fight deal, and they can cut you after 2 fights, right?
I guess. I'm sure they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So then you've been winning some, losing some, winning some, losing some. So now, but it's okay, man. You're right there. Now I gotta ask. You're from New Jersey. Why do you have a cowboy hat?
I'm super into like the Western style stuff. You know, I go hunting all the time with my family, and we're just into that shit. But the American flag cowboy hat was actually a mistake. So when I was on the show, they gave us like request lists, and we could write down like whatever we needed. They would get it for us, and it would be like in our cabinet the next day. And obviously within reason, like some guys were putting some crazy shit, and they were like, "No, we're not getting that for you." But I had asked for a cowboy hat and an American flag. Separate, but they considered it one. So when I saw it and they gave me an American flag cowboy hat, I was kind of like, all right, whatever, I'll just run with it.
Got it. Now, how was Stipe as a coach?
He was good. He brought like most of his coaches, and he kind of just let them take us through most of the training. You know, he was there overseeing everything and stuff, but you know, he trusted his coaches to really take us through, and it was a great experience. And I think the best part of it was that he took us all out of the house like every day, like got our minds off of like just the craziness going on. We're locked away in a house and like can't talk to anybody. So they did a good job of like taking us, like we would go like go-karting, or we would just go to like some park and just chill outside and be humans again instead of fucking dogs locked away.
That was my mistake when I was on Last Comic Standing. I was in the house for a month. I started overthinking everything, going for my set too much, super irritable, hated everybody. I also went off my medication. I'm on anti-anxiety. No. I thought I'd be more interesting if I went off my meds. Not the best. Not the best.
Definitely backfired.
No, I was the most like irritable fucking, like, leave me the fuck alone. Hi, what's going on? Fuck you. You're like, I was just not how I should have been. So that was a mistake that I made. Now I see that you train over at Tiger Showman. Now, when I was a kid, Tiger Showman was kind of a joke because it was everywhere. And it was too many Tiger Showmans. Like, it was like everybody was Tiger Showman black belt. I'm like, dude, you got your ass kicked by the nerd. But your Tiger Showman is legit. Is it the Tiger Showman?
Yes, it is. Tiger Showman was in my corner. His brother, Ron Showman, was in my corner. And then my boxing coach, Ray Velez. Our clientele is the average person that wants to work out, learn martial arts, how to protect himself, kids coming in to not be bullied anymore, build confidence, so that 99% of the people that come in are just average people wanting to learn how to protect themselves and get in shape. You obviously get that less than 1% that come in and actually want to fight, and we got a very good fight team. It's a tough room for anybody when it goes down to like the amateurs to the lower ranked pros, the other guys in the UFC. Every day is a tough day. So I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Is the focus still karate, like his style of karate, or is it just everything?
No, we do everything, man. We evolved. We originated as Kyokushin karate, and they used to do the forms and the wood breaking, the whole 9 yards. But as times change, they've evolved with the times, and our main program is kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. When it comes to fight team training, we do everything. We got wrestling coaches, boxing coaches, Muay Thai, everything.
Savages. I didn't mean to insult Tiger Showman. I meant there was so many Tiger Showmans everywhere.
I mean, you always seen that too. Like you see, like Mick Dojo and like people talking shit about it, but it is what it is.
I apologize if I insulted anybody in the Tiger community. Now Jimmy Rivera is. I have him on the show all the time. I love that guy. Is he a cop now?
No. So what Tiger Showman's has done is like we came out with a whole program. It's called the Guardian program, and it's pretty much training police officers how to actually, de-escalate a situation on the street when they're making arrests or something like that. So I mean, what we're teaching them is like last resort. Like the person's really resisting. They're not coming in. You got to take them in, but you got to do it in a way where they're not going to get screwed over, because the cops literally have their hands tied behind their back trying to take care of stuff now. So
wait, so
the came up with a whole program.
The cops are there. The guy they call you at the gym. You guys are like the whatever, like what are those superheroes called? Those five. What am I thinking about? The five guys.
Avengers?
Yeah, you're like the Avengers?
Oh, the Avengers.
Do you guys show up and like fucked up the criminals? Is that how it works?
That'd be awesome, but no. So we have a whole program that we established, and it's got a curriculum and everything for the police officers. So I forget how long the program is. I want to say it's like 2-3 month program, and gives them a whole foundation of how to apprehend somebody without choking them or whatever. Like the chief of police in the town that we train at in Elmwood Park, he was overseeing the program as well and kind of telling us like types of situations that they come across, what they got to deal with, the rules that they have to abide by when they're taking somebody in. So they've worked together to make a program that I think is really effective and helpful for them.
Have you done any ride-alongs?
Oh, I have not, but I would love to.
What's the basis of the de-escalation? Is it like wrist control and judo, or what is it? I assume it's not striking.
No, it's very like watered down jiu-jitsu. Like there's no submissions really, because obviously you choke somebody and they're getting sued and whatnot, and it's a whole thing. So it's I'd say more wrestling based, and just being able to use your body weight to control the person and to either wait for backup to come help you if you're by yourself, or just to hold them down. Because I mean, you see on like the show Cops, like these guys, it's like 5-6 cops trying to take the dude down. Like they have no idea what the hell they're doing.
That's awesome.
Guys throwing them around.
Your guys are going to really help out a lot. Like all the police brutality, if they actually knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
What's up, people? Football might be over for the season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Now head over to their website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code CLNS50 to get started. It's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage. And it's the best in the business, okay? From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. I mean,
100%. If every single cop was trained in a basic form of martial arts, you see a lot less issues. But it's the guys that don't know anything, that feel like they got something to prove, and they abuse their power. So
what about one guy, the Detroit urban police guy? That guy's out of his mind. Have you seen that guy?
I have clips.
What is it?
Dude, there's this guy, this black guy, Detroit urban police. The guy looks like he's like not in shape, and he tells you what to do
He pretty much is like teaching you how to catch a bullet with your teeth.
It's all bad. Like it's like so the worst technique, but he's being serious about it, and that's the worst. And people are coming to like prove him wrong. I mean, they went viral, but he's handling it very well because he's like not getting mad at anybody. He's like, "Well, come to my thing and I'll show you." And then like Snoop Dogg comes stoned, points a gun at him, and he goes like that, and he goes, "See?" I mean, it's just one thing after another.
Oh, it's ridiculous. He's got to know it doesn't work.
I mean, anyone that doesn't work, or like people are dead. What are they going to say? Well, I mean, there's nothing. It's crazy. Now, I got to talk to you about your girlfriend, because I went on your Instagram. A very cute girl, adorable. She wants to get married, right? We got married. We got married in July. Oh, good.
All right.
Because she kept posting wedding photos of you and her at weddings. I went down her timeline, and it was like, oh, you never know. Like she kept hinting. So what made you finally do it?
It was time. We've been together for almost 8 years now. So
wow.
Now it's just legal. I mean, it's not like anything changed.
Well, that sounds really creepy. So how old were you when you how old were you guys when you started dating? In high school?
No, college. I think I was like 21, 22. No,
what made you wait so long?
I wanted a house and stuff, and I wanted to have my shit in order first.
Yeah, that's smart. Now, did you have any wrestling background?
Did not. Played football, baseball,
and
lacrosse.
Then you started karate at like 16?
Yeah.
But then during your fight, you said that the announcer said that you said you were going to make the UFC when you were 12. But
so that they got it all screwed up, if that's what they said. When I had first started training, one of my teammates, Louis Gaudino, was doing The Ultimate Fighter. I think he was on like season 14.
The green hair.
And yeah. And I told my instructor, I was like, I'm going to win season 25 of The Ultimate Fighter. And I said that back at like season 14. He's like, all right, just keep training. I had been in there for like a few months. He's like, yeah, okay. The typical guy that comes in is like, yeah, I want to fight. And then they end up not fighting. So I was like, yeah, season 25. I was two off.
Nice.
But I called it.
Dude, that was awesome. I mean, but the sky's the limit. You're still a young fighter, man. To start competing at 16, to make The Ultimate Fighter at 28 and 29, I mean, that's lot of people start wrestling when they're 5 or jiu-jitsu when they're 4 or 3. I mean, you had like no background. That's crazy.
Nope. Just jumped into a gym and rest is history.
Now, do you guys have any rival with like the Frankie Edgar, Mark Henry guys?
We actually have fought the Cerro Longo guys way more than we've fought the guys at Frankie Edgar's gym, and like with like Mark Henry. I'd say if we had like a rival gym, it'd be Cerro Longo, because we're always matching up with like their amateurs, our amateurs fighting. You know, when I was coming up, I fought a couple of guys from their gym. And I mean, I don't think there's any bad blood, but like they have a lot of fighters. We have a lot of fighters, same area. So we always end up getting matched up.
Jersey, Long Island. I mean, that's, of course.
Yeah.
That's the, you know.
Bridge versus tunnel.
Yeah, bridge versus tunnel. Now, were you kind of a club guy? Did you go to the clubs back in New York and take ecstasy and Molly and bang? Have threesomes, you know?
No, I hate the club. I hate going to the city. I'm more of a outdoors person. I like the woods. I don't like going where there's a lot of people.
I hear you, man. I like it, man. Well, listen, Mike, you're a great guy, man. Can't wait for your next fight. Who do you want to fight next?
I literally don't care. I tell my managers, I tell my coaches, I'm like, you guys find me somebody and I'll start training. What
about Steven Peterson? Steve Ocho.
Yeah.
What's up, Steve? He's right here. This is our no, I'm kidding. Well, listen, Mike Trizano, it was great to have you on the show, man, and have a great upcoming week.
I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
Take care, brother.
Bye.
Later.
So we got Steve Ocho Peterson here. Probably the best.
Does he say he want to fight me? Did he say he want to fight me?
He said sure. He said,
tell him what's up. Tell him what's up. I'm ready to go.
Tell him we'll have him come to your house right now and just jump into
let's do it. We'll do it for the gram.
Absolutely. How are you, man? By the way, that fight you had was probably the best fight I've ever seen. One of them I've ever seen.
Really?
That fight was crazy. It was nuts. It was Bill. If you watch one fight, watch his fight from.
I want to. Where would I watch it?
It'll be on ESPN Plus. It's still up there. Check it out.
They were going, but like flying cartwheels, fucking rolling cartwheels. Like he would get hurt, the other guy would get hurt, back and forth. Every punch was a fucking knock. Was that your favorite fight? I know you didn't get the win, but it could have went your way.
Yeah. I thought it would. It was a close fight. I mean, that was one of my top, I'd say 5 favorite fights. I've had a lot of fun fights, but honestly, I had a blast in there. It was incredible. It's just a shame there wasn't a crowd. You know, if there was a crowd, it would have been even better.
Were you ever hurt in that fight?
For a split second, when he hit me with when I was rushing in, he hit me with the spinning back fist. I didn't see it. And as soon as I dropped to a knee, I bounced back. I recovered really quickly. That was the only time. And, I was like, no, you can't get me with my move. I was like, I got to get you back. I got to get that one back.
No, it was insane. It was insanity.
What's the promotion?
UFC.
It was UFC?
Yes, it was 2 weeks ago. It was the greatest fight I've ever seen. It was fucking insane. It started off a little slow. First round, it built. First round wasn't as crazy. Second round was fucking bonkers.
Was it fight of the night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was
fight of the year so far.
Fight of the year.
Shit.
But the problem was,
February,
here's why I think you lost the fight. You didn't make weight. I honestly think the judges knew that. And they gave it, I think that they gave it to the guy who made, honestly, when it's a close fight like that, I honestly think the judges go, well, the other guy may weight, we'll give it to him. Do you think there's any truth in that?
Yeah, it definitely could have been. I mean, I shot myself in the foot there. It's definitely not something I planned on doing. Things got a little bit out of hand, and my body wasn't working with me. So, you know, it happened.
Somebody getting whipped right now? I feel like there's a whipping noise. What is that noise?
Oh, I'm snapping my earpods. I'll stop it.
The nervous habit when he talks about cutting weight.
You brought up a touchy subject.
Well, listen, it's like the third time you missed weight in a row.
No, it's the second time in my entire career. Second time in my entire career. The problem is it happened back to back. So at this point, it's something that I got to figure out, because I've never had a problem in the past, and now it's been a problem.
What do you think it is? What do you think the problem is?
I've changed up the way I train. I do a lot more explosive training, a lot more sprints, whereas in the past I did a lot more grinding work. And I feel like my body composition has changed. I'm a lot more, explosive muscle, whereas in the past I was super lean. I'm cutting way less weight than I used to cut, but my body wasn't letting it go. My muscles started cramping and fighting back. So it's something I'm going to have to change up in my training, because my weight was low going into the weight cut. I was like, this isn't that much weight compared to what I'm used to cutting. And then when my body started reacting that way, it's like, well, you can't go back. I'm here now, and I can't change the way I was training. So I think those sprints I need to do more long duration stuff along with the sprints to kind of. It was like you missed
by only 2.5 pounds. Like, I mean, how was your body that depleted where you just gave up?
No, yeah, my muscles were cramping up. I barely made it to the face-offs, honestly. Like behind the scenes, I was struggling. My hamstrings, my adductors were spazzing up, and I was just like trying to get myself together to get to the face-offs. Like, even after I stepped on the scale, if I would have continued to try to cut that last 3 pounds, I wouldn't have made it to the scale. So it was one of those things where either I was going to go to the scale or I was going to keep trying and go to the hospital. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like 2.5 pounds. Like, honestly, if it was like 7-8 pounds, I'd be like, you got to go to the next weight class, 55, right? But
right.
I think you're too small for 55. But those guys are cutting from 180.
Right, exactly.
190, even 200 to make 55.
Jeez,
and you have a skinny kind of frame. So I think that 2.5 pounds, if I'm your manager, I'd be like, listen, it was 2.5 pounds. The other time it was 2 pounds. He can make 45 because 55 might be too big.
I mean, I used to make 135. So at this point, what I need to do is I need to go to the UFC PI. I got to get a body composition scan. I got to have them kind of tailor my whole regimen. Like Paul Felder in the broadcast, he's like, I can't believe he hasn't got professional help at this point in his career. Well, at this point, until this point, I haven't needed it. I've been able to do these things myself, even cutting to 35 for my whole career. I've been fighting for 14 years, and now it's become an issue, not once, but twice. So obviously I need to, change something I'm doing. I got to make the proper steps. So at this point, I think I'd be an idiot not to take them up on that offer and go up there and get some, professional advice and nutrition plans.
You'll do it. Now, it is you got fight of the night. It would have been the third time you got fight of the night, right?
Third time I got a bonus with the UFC.
Give your bonus to your opponent. Oh, fuck. Do you have a girlfriend or a wife? Because they're going to be pissed, right?
No. I'm solo. Solo, and
that's good.
I don't have nobody to answer to but myself.
Because your girl would have killed you. She'd be like, I just got new shoes, or we could have been on a vacation, and now this motherfucker's walking around with your money. Oh man.
That definitely stings. But I mean, it's a big lesson. It's a tough lesson to learn. You know what I mean? And it's one that I'll never forget.
Well, listen, man. I mean, 3 times fight, dude. You got to see this fight, Bill. I got it. Yeah, it was incredible. Now, I've been I'm reading about you. So you make money through fighting, but you also have Fight Fit Lifestyle, Fight CBD, and Fight Fit Crypto.
Cryo.
Oh, yeah. So cryo. Oh, they said crypto. I think you had your own crypto. Cryo. I was like, now what is all this?
So Fight Fit Lifestyle is a brand, a fitness brand. So basically I do apparel. We sponsor fighters, do their walkout shirts for the local level and try to help build them. Fight Fit CBD brand. We specialize in this CBD rub. It's a balm that is the most effective CBD balm that I've used. I sell it to a couple different doctors as well. so they resell it in their place. And then the cryo, it was a store, and COVID kind of shut that down. So I got the machine kind of sitting in storage, and it's something that I'll come back to. But more lately, I've been working on my production team, which is Ocho TV. So we're working on a lot of original concepts behind the scenes of local MMA fighters, following their journey. We got a show called Coach Show. I'm a coach as well. So kind of detailing different fighters' journeys and their walks of life, because some people fight because they want to be a UFC fighter. Some people fight just because they were a victim. Some people fight for fitness. So kind of just showing the variety of why people fight and why people train.
Why do you fight?
Why do I fight? For
Yeah.
respect. For respect. And I got the respect now. So I continue to fight because I have goals. I set these goals for myself, and I got to make some money before I'm done with this sport.
Oh, well, you deserve all the money. You keep doing those performances. I mean, holy shit. Now you grew up in California?
Yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles till I was about 15, and then moved to McKinney, Texas.
Where'd you go to high school? In LA?
I started at Gar High School in LA in Norwalk, and then moved my sophomore year to McKinney High School.
Did you do any wrestling or jiu-jitsu or?
I did. I wrestled varsity my freshman year, and then I got into it with my wrestling coach because over Christmas break I didn't go to practice, and then after Christmas break he was like, "Well, we ran 5 miles a day every day that you missed, so you owe me 20 miles today." And I was like, I'm gonna go do some hood rat shit with my friends, and then looking back, it would have came in handy, but
20 miles.
I
mean, you're not.
I think he was just trying to humble me, and at that point, I was not going to be humbled.
20 miles to lose a kid that's a freshman on the varsity team. That's ridiculous.
Well, you know how these coaches are, Adam. I mean, a lot of them are working for pure ego.
I would have been like, you owe me 5 miles a day till you get 20. You don't do all fucking 20 on the one day. I mean, that's,
He was trying to humble me, and it just wasn't going to happen at that point in my life. I was young and wild.
Did you feel like reaching out to him now that you're in the UFC? Be like, hey, dude, fuck you.
Yeah, he'll be like, you missed weight if you would have ran the fucking 20 miles.
If you would have done that 20 miles, that would have never happened.
Now, did you move to Texas? Why?
So I was getting a lot of trouble out there in LA, and my dad got a job out in here, and basically we were like middle lower class out there, and it was total lifestyle change. We moved from middle lower class to middle upper class out here, so that kind of brought me around.
Nice. Now, how are the girls in Texas compared to LA?
Man, I got a lot more attention as I started going through high school. I got in a lot of fights in high school, and because I was the kid from LA and everybody was all preppy white boys and I dressed different. So I get in a lot of fights. And since I was number 8 on the football team, they call me Ocho. And by junior year high school, I was like infamous for fighting. So that's when I started getting real lucky with the ladies at that point.
So you beat up a bunch of preppy kids in Texas. And girls like you for this. And then when did you start actually real training?
So I started a fight club in my backyard. We called it Friday Night Fights. And because I was tired of getting in trouble at school. I was like, every time I get in a fight, I get suspended and it's not worth it. So why don't you guys just all be in my backyard? At some point, it wasn't about beef anymore. It was like people wanted to prove themselves. They were like, this guy thinks he could fight. I think I could fight. So
were you like king of the mountain that everyone trying to take you on?
Exactly. I was the bar. If you could beat me, then you could fight.
Like the Brad.
So
fucking gone.
Yeah. So I'd bring them in my backyard and we fight, we scrap. And then this one kid, he would catch me in like a triangle choke and start elbowing me in the face, and the head. I'd be like, "Oh, what is this? What are you doing with your legs?" It's like, this is jiu-jitsu. So I was like, I got to learn that shit. And I went and trained. 30 days later, had my first amateur fight.
Wait,
fell in love with the sport.
You said, hey, do you belong to a gym, or like do you go with that this gym?
Yeah, I went with him, and he was actually training in a garage, and it was called Second Chance Gym in McKinney. And his old school boxing coach, he said, if you want to fight, I can get you a fight. And I was like, yeah, 30 days training.
But who was the jiu-jitsu instructor in Second Chance Gym?
He was an old school boxing coach who knew a little bit. His name was Coach Garcia, John Garcia.
So you had your first amateur fight a month later after going to Second Chance Gym when you were a junior in high school.
I was a senior at that point. Yep.
Did you win?
No, I actually lost a decision. I was brawling, and the guy kept taking me down. And I looked back. I was like, I was made for this. I was like, he was way better than me, and I didn't get broken. And I was like, I just got to learn.
So everyone that you would then be like, hey, teach me your ways. So then you figured out, I got to learn wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. So then that helped me build my career every time. Where did
you learn wrestling though? You went Second Chance Gym. You go to Third Chance Gym after that and learn wrestling. Like where did you learn wrestling?
From there, I learned a little bit more, and then ended up going to North Dallas MMA with
Yeah.
There?
Yeah. North Dallas MMA with like some real
So
people.
there, I went to North Dallas MMA with JD Shelley, and he kind of he was a jiu-jitsu world champion, and from there, I mean, I grew. I was pretty much the only MMA fighter in the gym. I was going with jiu-jitsu guys or going with Muay Thai guys, but I had grown and went professional while training there, and then eventually fought these guys from Octagon MMA and fought multiple of them. And after they started to get my number, and I was like, that's where I got to go. I got to train with like-minded people with similar goals. And Octagon MMA, from there, I went on to become the LFA champion. And then we started Fortis MMA right after that.
So you went from high school straight to professional fighting. Were your parents, was your dad like, what the fuck are you doing? You need to go to college. You need to
I was in and out of jail. I was in and out of jail a lot at that time.
Wait, hold on. Wait. So you keep skipping these stories. We ask a question, and then you're like, yeah, and I was a zombie, and then I got kidnapped by a bunch. Like
I was in prison for murder. And
what were you in jail for?
Evading arrest in a motor vehicle. I was just a hood rat.
Wait, so you got pulled over.
Hit the gas.
Oh, you hit the gas.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like a high-speed chase?
Oh, yeah. In high school.
In high school. Why did you not, was it your car?
Yeah, I had a 5.0, and I was getting a lot of tickets. And I was like, I'm not getting more tickets this time. I'm just going to take off. I didn't think that went through.
And they caught you, obviously. Was it helicopters?
Yeah, there was helicopters. I pulled into a neighborhood. They blocked off the neighborhood. We got out, ran on foot, helicopters. Yeah, crazy story.
This is high school. This is what, you're a junior in high school?
Yeah, it was actually in the newspapers in the McKinney Gazette.
Is there video of it?
No, I wish. I was. That was what, 15 years ago.
Okay.
So it was in the paper, the McKinney Gazette. And I was kind of infamous for that in high school.
How much was anybody in the car with you, or just you by yourself?
Yeah, I had a friend and then two girls in the back seat. They were all screaming, "Go, go, 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 go!"
Your friends,
yeah, their parents hated me after that.
Now, one person was like, "Stop the car, get me the fuck out." The girls too, they were into it.
Yeah, they were like, "Go!" Everybody was like, "Do it!"
Oh, Joe!
Screaming. Yeah, they were screaming.
105.
I was going about 140 at one point.
Jesus Christ! What type of car did you have?
It was a 5.0 with a 347 and a stroker engine. It was like a way too much muscle for a 16-year-old kid.
How much time in jail did you have to do for this?
I did about a week, and then I was on probation from the time I was 16 until about 23.
Okay. And then you didn't go back to jail at all in between that?
Oh, yeah, I did.
For what?
Same thing. He just loves running from cops.
Yeah, man.
Just like tickets.
Hijacked an airplane.
It was just rebellion. Nothing serious, but it was always just like I just had a problem with authority. And as I grew, when I had my son, changed everything. Since I had my son, I haven't been back to jail since. I went one time, and then I couldn't stand him not being able to see me, to hold me, and I was like, he deserves better. And at that point, I changed my life.
That's amazing. I mean, this is a crazy story. There's a fight club involved, a high-speed chase, other arrests that we don't even know about.
Were you drinking a lot? Was it like drugs and alcohol involved, or were you like sober?
Yeah, there was definitely drugs and alcohol involved.
Was that a trick question? Of course it was.
Yeah, right? Like I was a kid. I was a little hood rat.
Did your mom come too to Texas, or just your dad?
Yeah, my mom came as well, and that's exactly why they were all for me fighting, because that gave me some direction. And then, obviously it wasn't enough direction, but it definitely gave me something to get my head on straight about. And then when I had my son, that was the last bar. That was like, no more trouble with the law.
Now, your parents, they didn't mind you at a fight club in the backyard? Like the other parents, like, hey, I sent my kid to your house. He came home with bruises everywhere. Like,
right. Now, yeah, my parents were going through a divorce at the time, so I was kind of able to get away with quite a bit. I kind of leveraged that to have some freedom.
They yelled at you, just say, I learned it from watching YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dad was usually on the couch or not at home. So mom was like, yeah, do what you want. And yeah, that's how I go.
Now, one of your big fights was against Chase Hooper. That was, I think, the fight that that was a great fight for you. I think that kind of put you on the map. You were already on the map, but that was a fight everyone was like, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's fine.
Yeah. Chase Hooper is a great grappler. Were you nervous at all about his grappling skills?
Not at all. I'm definitely underrated in the grappling department. I've fought multiple black belts. I've beaten black belts on the ground. I think people they didn't respect my pedigree at that point. Just because I hadn't fought any black belts in the UFC. Well, I did actually met the set, and on the ground, I had my way with him. So, the kid is honestly, that was probably one of my easier fights, or definitely one of my easiest fights. But I just had to be smart in that fight because I couldn't afford to lose to that kid. He has a lot of hype behind him, but he hasn't really fought anybody besides the two guys that beat him, Alex Caceres and myself. Everybody else is like, who has the kid beat? Was the crowd booing you? Were you like the villain in that fight? Yeah, I was the villain, and I eat that shit up. Because he's such a likable kid. He's a nice kid. A real nice.
He basically rolls to a heel hook. That's his number one move, right? How do you avoid his heel hook? Do you have a trick that some fighters don't know? A million times. Stay calm, do the right things, mind your P's and Q's. It's like a lot of guys, they end up in that position and they haven't been there. They freak out. I trained through that. I've been there in the high intensity situations. You just got to compose yourself. Don't panic and do something stupid. Got it. And so now you got a really cute kid. I see your kid on Instagram. You're working it at the gym. You're one of the main guys. Fortis has straight killers. Holy shit, you guys have some great fighters there. And you're one of the instructors over there, right? Yeah, I'm I would say the amateur Muay Thai instructor. I'm kind of building up the amateur program over there. Now, there are no girls in Texas right now. I would think that girls would like you. You're a badass. You have a heart. Yeah. I just don't let them have my heart. They can have my body. They can't have my heart. Yeah. As a fighter and as a lover, don't let them get your hooks in, right? Don't get their hooks in. Exactly. Yeah. I've been there, done that. I've been married, divorced at a young age, and I've learned a lot of lessons at this age in my life. Well, how old are you? Because you look 70. So I'm 31. I'm 31. I was married at about 21, I believe, and divorced by 23. So
long time ago, and I learned a lot from that.
Well, man, you're a great guy, and I'm a fan, dude.
I'm a fan now too. Jesus, I'm looking up your fights.
Your fights are
Cool
unbelievable.
shit.
Your life story is crazy. Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, if you want to hear more about the story, I've been sharing little snippets on Ocho TV, my YouTube page, youtube.com/OchoTV08, and we're working on more in-depth stories on that right now. We're kind of giving just the outline of my detail and future video following, and build a what would you call it? Interest. I'm trying to build the interest.
I love it, man. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for being you, and I look forward for your next fight.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Anytime. Take care, Steven.
Yeah, have a good one.
Nice to meet you.
Like,
all right.
Cool dude. I love how they have these crazy stories like, oh yeah, then I got arrested a few times. Like, wait, what?
There's a helicopter, and I mean, what kind of fucking kids would just go, go, go? I mean, they're getting arrested also in this situation.
Are they?
Yeah, if you're in a high-speed chase, I would assume, I mean...
Don't you think these girls were like, we were just in the back and we were scared. We had no idea.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, holy shit. But that dude is hilarious, man.
Yeah, he's great.
Man, that's like one of my biggest fears, having a kid like that. Just one thing after another. A fucking fight club in the backyard. I mean, as a father, you're like, yeah, my kid's a badass, but you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Fucking that wrestling coach, you got to run 20 miles. Come on.
That's great. Oh, I mean, now coaches are like you, Adam. Some of them are just absolute dicks who are like living their glory days, and they don't like kids succeeding. Dude,
a lot of them don't even care at all. I mean, athletic directors, you should see how hard it is to get a program going. Like, it's like, dude, one of my best friends is suspended right now. His team made the state finals. His team made they have the states and like the Masters coming up, whatever. He can't go to either, him and his coach, because he has like a wrestling club on Sundays, and the rule is like you can't have kids train there during season on Sundays. And one of the parents reported him, so now he can't go to state. Like, the kids were getting extra practice.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because one of the parents has a vendetta against him and told.
Of course.
And like,
of course.
Like, the kids weren't doing drugs. They weren't doing this. They were wrestling on an extra day. And then now he can't coach them. Or
it's not cancel culture. It's snitch culture. That's the problem.
Snitch culture. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we live.
Yeah, I know. It really is. I was thinking about that. This cancel culture is like, I'm not really buying it, man. I mean, Snoop Dogg was at the halftime show, and the puppy fucking thing, the Puppy Bowl, and he was accused of rape last week. I don't think.
Oh, that's right. My God.
I mean, it was an accusation, and he's saying it's bullshit.
From
right?
like 10 years ago or something, right?
Right. But still, like, the Super Bowl and like Dr. Dre. And look, I loved it. I was dancing. I'm a fan of music and of rap music and of Snoop Dogg's music. But Dr. Dre like admitted to like throwing his like beating up a woman. He's like, yeah, shit I shouldn't have done. So I'm not really feeling this whole cancel. I don't know, but I think this is very selective cancel culture.
Oh, it for sure is. Of course it is. Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm watching this going, wait, what? How many times has Eminem been canceled for his lyric? Bullshit.
Yeah. How many times you talk about beating up or killing gay people?
Right. If there's money to be made, they don't cancel you.
Yes.
They cancel you when you stop making hits. When R. Kelly was making hits, he wasn't canceled.
Yes. When Harvey Weinstein came out with Tulip Fever, he got fucking canceled. It wasn't after Pulp Fiction.
I mean, the only one is like Kevin Spacey got canceled, but that was like, that's not really canceling. That's like illegal activities. You know, I mean, there's the difference between, who knows? Talk about this forever. Anyway, Bill, you're the best. I fucking love
Good to see you, buddy.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye. You too.